The automotive industry has perfected the art of the 2-year cycle. They have convinced the average driver that a car battery is a disposable item, much like a AA battery and a television remote. Every year, millions of Americans trudge into auto parts stores, handing over $200 or more because their vehicle refused to start on a Tuesday morning. This isn't just a failure of chemistry, it is a triumph of marketing. The industry quietly pockets billions because they have taught you to ignore the slow, agonizing death of your lead-acid companion. Statistically, over 30% of batteries replaced this year are actually perfectly salvageable. You are being fleeced to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars because you have been told that maintenance is a thing of the past. The villain in this story isn't just the battery manufacturer, it is the entire economic structure of planned obsolescence. They want you to feel helpless when that engine clicks. But today, we are going to dismantle that helplessness. We are going to look at the cold, hard science of battery survival in a world that wants your car to fail. The first betrayal begins at the terminals, those 2 lead posts where your car drinks its lifeblood. Over time, you will notice a white or greenish crust blooming like a toxic fungus around the metal. Most people see this and think nothing of it, but to a mechanic, that is the sound of money leaving your wallet. That crust is acidic residue, a physical manifestation of electrical resistance that forces your starter and alternator to work twice as hard. It is a slow-motion strangulation of your electrical system that could be solved with pennies. Instead of buying expensive chemical cleaners, you should reach for a box of baking soda and a cup of warm water. This simple, alkaline solution neutralizes the acid on contact, bubbling away the resistance and restoring a perfect path for the current. If you perform this ritual every 3 months, you are essentially giving your battery a clear airway to breathe. Most drivers ignore this until the car won't start, at which point the damage to the internal plates is already done. A clean connection is the difference between a battery that lasts 3 years and one that lasts 9. There is a persistent myth that modern batteries are maintenance-free, a label slapped onto plastic casings to discourage you from looking inside. Inside that dark box is a cocktail of distilled water and sulfuric acid known as the electrolyte. When your engine bay heats up, especially during the sweltering months of July and August, that water slowly evaporates through microscopic vents. As the liquid level drops, the internal lead plates are exposed to the air, leading to rapid oxidation and permanent capacity loss. You must become a guardian of the liquid level by checking the cells at least once a month. If the plates are visible above the shimmering line of the fluid, your battery is literally gasping for air. The solution is simple but specific. You must use distilled water and nothing else. Tap water contains minerals like calcium and magnesium that will poison the chemical reaction and kill the battery faster than the heat ever could. Keeping those plates submerged is the most fundamental rule of battery longevity, yet it is a secret hidden behind a maintenance-free sticker. We have been conditioned to fear the winter, believing the cold is what kills our cars. This is a clever misdirection by the industry. Cold weather simply reveals the damage that was already done during the summer. Heat is the true silent assassin of the lead-acid battery. High temperatures accelerate the internal chemical reactions to a frantic pace, causing the internal structure to warp and degrade. By the time the first frost of November arrives, the battery is already a hollowed-out shell of its former self. To fight back against the sun, you can build a simple thermal shield using basic insulation foam and aluminum foil. By wrapping the battery in a reflective barrier, you are essentially giving it an air-conditioned suite inside a boiling engine bay. This prevents the internal temperature from spiking, slowing down the degradation of the lead paste on the grids. It is a low-tech solution to a high-tech problem that the manufacturers refuse to implement because it would make their products last too long. Even when your car is sitting silently in the driveway, it is being slowly bled dry by electrical vampires. Your dashboard clock, the security alarm, and the engine control unit are all sipping power 24 hours a day. If you leave your car parked for 3 weeks while on vacation, these small parasitic drains can pull the battery voltage down into the danger zone. Once a battery stays in a discharged state for too long, a process called sulfation begins, turning the soft lead into hard, unusable crystals. If you know your vehicle will be stationary for more than 14 days, you must intervene by disconnecting the negative terminal. This simple act of turning a wrench breaks the circuit and stops the vampires from feeding. It preserves the chemical potential of the battery, ensuring that when you return, the engine will roar to life as if no time had passed. The industry loves it when you leave your car sitting, because a dead battery is a customer returning to the store for a replacement. To truly master your battery, you must speak its language, which is measured in volts. A healthy battery should sit comfortably between 12.4 and 12.7 volts when the engine is off. If you see a reading of 12.2 volts, your battery is already half empty and in a state of distress. Most people wait for the car to stop starting before they care about the voltage, but by then, the internal damage is often irreversible. A cheap multimeter is the only stethoscope you need to diagnose the health of your car's heart. Regularly checking the voltage allows you to catch the early stages of sulfation before the crystals become permanent. Think of it as preventative medicine for your wallet. If you notice the voltage dipping, it is a signal that you need to perform a deep charge or investigate why the alternator isn't doing its job. Ignoring a low voltage reading is like ignoring a high fever. Eventually, the system will collapse, and the bill will be significantly higher than it needed to be. The fastest way to destroy a battery is to let it drain completely, a mistake that the industry counts on you making. When the charge drops below 50%, the sulfuric acid in the electrolyte begins to react with the lead plates to form lead sulfate. If you recharge the battery immediately, this process is mostly reversible. However, if the battery sits in a discharged state, those soft sulfate deposits harden into a crystalline armor that blocks any future chemical reaction. This is why a single night of leaving your headlights on can take 2 years off the life of your battery. You must avoid deep discharges at all costs if you want to reach the 10-year mark. If you do find yourself with a flat battery, do not just jump-start it and hope for the best. A jump-start provides a violent surge of current that can warp the plates. Instead, the battery should be put on a slow, controlled charge to gently coax the chemistry back into balance. In the world of professional racing and high-end mechanics, the smart maintenance charger is the ultimate weapon. These devices are not simple power cords. They are sophisticated computers that monitor the internal resistance of the battery. They use multi-stage charging cycles to desulfate the plates and balance the cells. An overnight session with a smart charger once a month can undo weeks of neglect and parasitic drain, acting like a fountain of youth for your electrical system. A smart charger is a one-time investment that pays for itself the very first time it saves you from buying a new battery. It is the tool the tech companies don't want you to own because it breaks the cycle of replacement. By maintaining a perfect state of charge, you prevent the formation of the crystals that eventually kill every battery. It is the difference between being a victim of the automotive industry and being a master of your own machinery. The battery does not live in a vacuum. It is part of a larger ecosystem that includes the alternator and its drive belt. If the alternator belt is loose, it will slip, preventing the alternator from spinning at the correct speed to keep the battery topped off. Conversely, if the belt is too tight, it will grind away at the bearings, leading to a mechanical failure that can cost $1,000 to repair. A simple check of the belt tension is a crucial part of battery maintenance that is often overlooked. You should inspect the belt for cracks or glazing, which are signs that it is no longer providing the grip needed to generate power. A healthy charging system ensures that the battery is always being replenished while you drive. If the belt fails, your battery becomes the sole source of power for the entire car, and it will be dead within miles. By keeping the umbilical cord of the charging system in good repair, you ensure the battery never has to shoulder the entire burden alone. If you find yourself with an older battery that seems to be losing its punch, all is not lost. Controlled charging cycles can sometimes reverse years of mild sulfation and recover lost capacity. Many smart chargers have a recondition mode that uses high-voltage pulses to break down the hardened crystals on the plates. While it cannot fix a battery with a shorted cell or a cracked plate, it can often breathe another 2 years of life into a unit that most shops would tell you to throw away. This is the secret the industry hides, that batteries are remarkably resilient if you know how to talk to them. Recovering a battery through desulfation is a victory for the consumer and a loss for the manufacturer. It requires patience and a bit of technical knowledge, but the reward is a thick wallet and a car that starts every time. You are not just saving money. You are refusing to participate in a system of waste that fills our landfills with lead and acid. Finally, once you have cleaned your terminals and ensured your connections are tight, you must apply a shield. A thin layer of petroleum jelly or dielectric grease over the metal terminals acts as a moisture barrier. This prevents the acidic fumes from reacting with the air and forming that dreaded corrosion again. It is the final step in a process of total protection. This simple barrier can keep your electrical connections as clean as the day they left the factory, even after a decade of service. Is your battery currently sitting in your engine bay, slowly suffocating under a layer of corrosion and heat? Go out today, check the voltage, and look at the fluid levels. Small habits lead to huge savings over the course of your life. If you found this dive into the hidden world of automotive survival valuable, consider subscribing to the channel. We are here to help you protect your wallet and outsmart the companies that think you aren't paying attention. What is the oldest battery you have ever successfully kept running? Let us know in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about winning the war against planned obsolescence.